Every own sexual fantasy comes true tonight. Forgot technicalities. What does the world look like tomorrow? Sticky. Yup. Incredibly sticky. This also serves dual purpose for all the people with the fantasy of cleaning up. Some people have illegal sexual fantasies, so cops might have to put in a few extra hours once they figure out how to uncuff themselves from the bedposts. I have a feeling most people in a uniformed profession will end up otherwise occupied. Millions of copies of many celebrities. Maybe everyone will have to share those poor celebrities. I can fit only so much cum in my mouth. You say that, Scarlett. But apostrophe. Honestly, probably way more people than expected coming out of cemeteries. Actually, a lot more people coming into cemeteries. I also choose this guy's dead wife. Furries, dragons, cat girls, snake ladies, giants, eldritch abominations, lizard people, etc. are now all real, I guess. What about the lusty Argonian maid? Is that real? Ah. Yes. 12y/Omer's first Smud novella. Good times. Based on hentai. Probably lots of mythical yet sexual creatures. What about wee ships like the Asawa and the HMS Belfast? Belfast? My guy has fantastic taste. God. I mean, it's really likely that at least one person's fantasy is to have sex during the apocalypse. But what if my fantasy is to save the world by having sex? What if my fantasy is that there are no fantasies? Based on what's on Pornhub, there will be a whole lot of awkward family discussions. What are you doing? Step bro? #SHHH mom will hear us, mom already watching from the closet. Probably a lot of people filing for divorce. A lot of people taking Plan B. And a lot of people getting tested for STDs. Welcome to the world of herpes pandemic. Everywhere is SX now. Lots and lots of semen and shit, and pus drenching the planet. And that's the good news. That's good. We can inject all that semen into ourselves to kill the coronavirus. Is that what Trump said in his latest press conference? A lot less eye contact. Or a lot more. Oh god. You do not know what hell you have wrought on this world. You have destroyed the very fabric of civilization. Sure. You have the vanilla shit. The step family kink. You'll see some people tied up. Getting flogged. Screams of pain mixed with pleasure ring through the air. Except no. Because we have every own's fantasies. Everyone. Every nook and cranny of human sexuality and kink is explored. And the results are catastrophic. Giant tentacle monsters roam the streets, looking for people to violate with their countless phallus-shaped arms. Anthropomorphic animals are everywhere, hungry for lustful activities. Half human, half monster hybrids take victims by force and subject them to endless intercourse. And this is just the beginning of the depravity. Giants roam the land, swallowing humans and animals alike with every hole you can possibly imagine. And some you can't. The very earth grows penises to fornicate forcefully with every living thing. Every horror you can imagine comes to life as Rule 34's entire database comes to life. Humanity is extinct. Some duck to death. Others the victim of execution fetishists. Even more still suffer fates so indescribably horrible that even thinking about it makes your brain explode. On the plus side, we get cat girls. Edit. This is the post that explodes. You sick ducks. Yay. Cat girls. My mind instantly went to some poor schmo being pumped up and down on the end of a giant squid's tentacle giving the thumbs up and saying this. Welp, time for a longer quarantine everyone. The universe would be destroyed because there are people who have sexual fantasies about growing their penis so big that they break space-time. I'm not joking. There are people who write in graphic detail stories about their penises growing bigger than buildings, mountains, planets, stars, solar systems, galaxies, universes, and beyond. Edit. Wow. I think this is now my highest rated comment. Yo. What the duck? In song. Link. YouTube. youtube.com/watch v=xuw4u0h7b. Some people are going to be walking funny for a couple days. Some won't be walking at all. Don't judge my amputation fetish. Death by Snoozo. For some reason I read this as Death by Scooby-Doo. I'm sorry Raggy. Probably covered in tentacles like Futurama, the beast with a billion backs. Yeah, probably a lot of victims of extreme violence. Willing victims. If we assume that each person gets exactly what they want. 147 necrophiliacs and 7,000,000 dead assholes. Are the assholes dead? Or are the asshole people dead? Yes. In that order. The streets spill over white, red, and brown. Yes. America colors. America, duck yeah. Have you ever been on DeviantArt? This reality is over. Birthing back and forth. Forever. Shame and regret. I for one welcome our new asexual overlords. But they wouldn't be immune to other people's fetishes, would they? If anything, they'd be outright powerless. Good question. Ops mom is really ducking sore. Scarlett Johansson would have a lot of STDs. Every even somewhat sexy celebrity would have a lot of sex and STDs in a very short period of time. Poor Danny DeVito. A lot more furries than you think. Especially thanks to Beasters. Also known as the I'm Not a Furry But the Show. And a lot of people objecting with, I'm a scally. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling. 40 years of darkness. Earthquakes. Volcanoes. The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. If the world is not destroyed by mythical beasts or giant penises or giant breasts, the sewer systems will fail due to all the flushed condoms or other evidence, leading to further chaos. Well, there got to be at least one guy who jacks off to an idea of nuclear war, so I guess there will be no tomorrow. Yes, using his erection with a giant cheeseburger on the end of it. My sexual fantasy is that endless money comes out of my vagina and everyone leaves me alone. So yeah, girl is living bougie. Please watch out for paper cuts. Breaking news this morning as thousands of animal people known as furries have sprung up across the Western world. Probably tens or hundreds of thousands. Jesus Christ. How many of them are there? Worst case, double the COVID patients in 14 days. Tired of hearing of COVID. Me too. Everyone walks around in shame for the first 2 days, and then the horniness will come back and everyone will be itching to experience their fantasy again. The Craigslist ads would be unreadable. Poor Emma Watson. She's gonna see the real beast pretty soon. A blanket of cigarette smoke, and a scattering of people who like being used as ashtrays. At least one guy would empty the Wonder Bread aisle. Good damn it. They were finally able to restock. Well, I'm waking up in the morning suddenly a 300 pounds bodybuilder with a naked chick lying on top of me. Out of 158 responses so far, you are the only one besides me who fantasizes about self-improvement. Well, yeah, I'm very antisocial and self-conscious. So if I were suddenly fit and strong, it would give me the confidence boost necessary to go out to clubs and find a date. Or at least a one-night stand. Oh, boy, you guys are in for a rough time. I feel like there will be a lot of odd consent situations, what with the prevalence of blackmail porn. You're welcome for dragons. I wanted like dragons. We got duck dragons. I think a lot of people would commit suicide or get really depressed. The rape victims or the shame, both. I get to feel the loving embrace of a human being. Upvote if you like burgers, or desperately crave a woman's touch. I beg Ashley Madison scandal. Tentacles everywhere. Half the graveyards will be dug up, and a lot of children might be raped. I scrolled too far. Yep, I'm out. Pulls ripcord. Well, first of all, I'd get to hold hands with my crush. Hell on earth. Load super shotgun with badass intent. People will actually follow quarantine for at least a day. People will quickly call to be proper Christians. Fur is everywhere. The Cincinnati Zoo would be deprived of its gorilla population. Good news. Aerith lives. If you can call it living. Very sore. Eye contact will disappear quicker than the handshake. Imagine the apocalypse, but it's full of seamen. Data center. The next day. Forget technicalities. There's gonna be one person who fancies Cthulhu and Thief just destroyed humanity. Probably more than one. I think the world will be much the same, just the population will all look vaguely ashamed. We will avoid eye contact with one another. Forget a Jackson Pollock. It's going to look like a Mark Rothko link. mfap.com/app/bb988f95D9C3-41E4-95F8D6484A23E. JPG. Cities are destroyed by a giant falco ducking buildings. Lots of people in the morning doing the walk of shame. I'd imagine whatever a sticky theater floor would look like with the lights up. My world consists of me and my girlfriend living in a studio apartment, a huge thunderstorm outside, and cuddling while watching Netflix. So many more lesbians. Lol. We are a sex-starved world. I can post anything, and it takes days to get responses. I post anything to do with sexual fantasies, and get 20 comments in 15 minutes. This is where society went wrong. We just don't get laid enough. Welcome to Reddit lol. Tomorrow, for the first time, I wake up next to my girlfriend who I've been secretly seeing throughout quarantine. Close friends through high school. And in light of the pandemic, the stars finally aligned, and we are together. This is real. The fantasy is actually spending the night with her instead of just talking about how much we want to. This is so sweet and wholesome. I definitely feel the same about myself. Embarrassed. Slanesh manifests physical form. As a young woman, this terrifies me. I know at least 2 guys who have sexual fantasies about me, and I so don't want to be involved. I think it might become time for you to graduate to the position of serial killer then. That may be her fantasy. You never know. Sticky. The male to female ratio becomes lopsided overnight with way more females than males. Yeah, exactly. Because of all the men getting turned into women. I have pink cum. That's Pepto-Bismol. Silly. Poggers. The pedophile gets the child he wants, but also gets raped by a large, dominating gay man. Not the world I look forward to. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought about all the pedos. Something like this would ruin children all over, even more so than some might already be experiencing. Don't wish this on the world. 2 billion birds with one stone. It will look like the warp has descended upon us. Increased COVID-19 infection rate. Good luck. I pray for the children. Pornhub just shut down. YouTubers again on top. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.